Okay, so getting started here with the OpenStreetMap very beginner tutorial, how to just get started editing in OpenStreetMap. We're actually not even going to cover any editing in this session, it's just about getting your workspace set up. So hopefully if you're attempting to do this, you have a little bit of GIS knowledge, as OpenStreetMap is essentially an open source forum for crowdsourcing, people uploading GIS data, so that there is a vector GIS database available for, as you can see, the whole of the globe. So you'll navigate to openstreetmap.org, and from this global window you will zoom in to a region of interest that you know there are features in OpenStreetMap that need to be added or updated. So one region that I know needs to be added and updated is the campus of Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So you can see I'm using the basic navigation tools here to just zoom in to the region that I know Western is at. Take a minute here. So you can see that I've already started adding some buildings. Somebody has already added the roads. And so I'm going to continue adding all the buildings of the campus, but we'll save that for the next tutorial. For now, I just want to get you started with your own account and in your own editing environment. So the first thing you'll need to do is actually create a user account, because the data will require that you log in order to upload your edits. So you might be able to make edits, but if you want them to actually be part of the great collaboration that OpenStreetMap is, you're going to have to create an account. So it's a pretty basic installer. I'm obviously not going to create an account right now since I have one, but you'll continue through and just accept the terms. Nothing too crazy. And then once you have a user account, you can also create a profile, and there's a little bit of social networking involved with this software as well, so that's kind of neat. So once you have your account created, the next thing you want to do is choose your editing environment, and the viewer defaults to two different types of editors. There's this Potlatch2 in-browser editor, but the superior way to edit is with JOSM, and so that's the way I'm going to show you today. So you'll just actually navigate to the JOSM downloader, which is Java for OpenStreetMaps, and you'll click on the Windows installer if you have Windows, or the Mac installer if you have a Mac. And so this is obviously a Windows machine here. So we'll just save the file, and you'll see that it's an exe, and it comes down as JOSM setup. And we'll save it, and since I already did, I'll replace it. And then your downloader lets you know. It takes about a minute and a half. It's not too large of a file, it's only 16 megs. And once your download has completed installing, you just navigate to your downloads folder, or leave it open. I just close that one. And double click the josm-tested.exe file, and it will pop up with a basic installer. And in this case, I've created a shortcut here to the desktop, which I'll double click now, and it'll open up JOSM. So this is the interface, and it's got some basic descriptions, some shortcuts and things to read through here. And essentially you cannot open too much data in a JOSM window at once. So you need to navigate down to a region of interest, or an ROI, similar to the scale of the one I have here. And so then again, you'll hit the drop down arrow and select Edit with Remote Control, and it should pop up your data view into the JOSM window. So you'll see though that since I just did the installer, I actually have a few settings in JOSM that I have to update, and you likely will as well. So it's saying basically editing failed, and it's telling me that the remote control option is not enabled. Easy fix. So we just navigate to JOSM, go under Edit to Preferences, and you can see you have a lot of different workspace variables that you can play around with here, but we're not going to touch over any of those right now in this beginner tutorial. We're just going to come down here to the remote control feature and enable remote control. Say OK to apply the settings, and it lets us know we have to restart JOSM, and that's fine. So give it a second to take its settings there. We'll exit out, And again, double click to open the JASM window. So this time when I navigate from my ROI and I left click the drop down arrow and select edit with remote control, JASM will actually load the data into the out of browser editing window. And depending on your computer speed and your region of interest, it'll take a second. So you can see here that all the streets and buildings are loaded with their directionals. So if you know anything about topology in GIS editing, vector layers, there's always directions related with vectors. And so if you want to add features, you're going to need a reference window to add the features to. So in this case, you'll load some imagery. There's a variety of different options, and Bing is usually your best go-to for default. And so basically from here, you're ready to start editing. So if you would like to see more, click on the next tutorial on basic editing in JASM. And if you know what you're doing with GIS, the one warning thing I want to just give you a heads up is that you want to make sure that you consult this data dictionary. It's just here under documentation, so that when you are adding features, you're using the same attributes that everybody else has agreed upon. So this wiki is here for you, your use, to make sure that you're in compliance with the way that everybody else is editing. So that concludes kind of this intro section here, and yeah, check out JASM Editing if you want to know more. Hi, so this tutorial is a very, very basic tutorial just to get you set up and started editing OpenStreetMap. So on the screen here is, of course, OpenStreetMap, and it's zoomed in to a specific scale, which you'll have to be zoomed in order to begin editing. So there's a couple ways that you can edit an OpenStreetMap. The first of which is just to click Edit, and it'll open up this Potlatch 2 editor, and it edits right in the window. It takes a minute to load, and it's kind of lame anyway, so I'm loading it mostly just to show you that it's possible. But it loads right up, it loads the imagery right up. So the other way is if you click the down arrow next to it, you can edit with remote control. And so there's a Java for OpenStreetMap. And this is easily downloaded from Java for OpenStreetMap website. So you go in and just select the downloader for Mac or OS, and I'm sorry, for Mac or Windows. And you just save the file. You would any other installer. Wait for it to download. And then you go to your downloads folder and try to have your porn deleted before you do your tutorial. This is generally a good policy, but you know, we'll try to. I don't know, I'm just in downloads. Where's the exe? You have it in the weird viewer. Oh god, what's in there? What? What? There's nothing in there that's bad. Okay,
now you're. No,
Oh, you paused that? So you can edit it, right? So it's in the downloads folder?
Now
Right. I know, so just have this like. Yeah, we're gonna have to edit quite a bit out of the middle here. It's still downloading, I think. So you'll double click this JOSM-tested folder and it runs the executable and pops up this interactive editor here. And so you'll have to have this editor open in order for the map to load in that window when you select this drop-down. And the other thing that you're going to need to do before you are starting to edit is to come over here and create your own user account, because when you upload the features that you add to the map, you want to get credit for them, and also you want to keep track. If you're making mistakes, people will send you emails and let you know, so that we're all on the same page in this collaborative mapping effort here. So I guess it registered that I logged in already, so normally the login create user account will be over here, and it's just a basic I accept the policies sort of login thing. So once you have JOSM local, then you go to the site that you want to edit, and with your drop down, edit with remote control. And sometimes the first time it will fail, and you just need to restart JOSM in order for it to take effect. So it should be in recent programs here. Why is it not? I went into all programs. Yep. JK, what the fuck?